Hey everybody, welcome to So Many Sequels, your book club for movies. I'm Josh.
I am Garrett.
And I'm David.
Here we are in the middle of November. Somehow, stunningly, nearing the end, half of it.
Yes, it's already like almost half over. Like November is almost done.
It's November 16th as of this
Thanksgiving is
recording.
like a week away. No, maybe two.
In my head, we just finished Halloween.
In my head, we just finished the summer.
Like last weekend it was Halloween in my head.
Yeah.
It's November 16th.
Time doesn't make sense
No.
anymore.
No.
It's just a lie.
So here we
It's
are
just a lie.
in Family and Food Month here on the show. We kick things off with Uncle Buck. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, go do that. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
John Candy. Love John Candy. There's a documentary out about him right now. I meant to watch it, and I still haven't gotten around to it, but...
Yeah, it's on my list too. That's a nice little Thanksgiving break watch, I feel.
Yeah.
John Candy feels very Thanksgiving for some reason.
He
God,
is.
I like me.
Yeah. I saw that clip on TikTok recently from that movie where he gives that I like me speech.
Planes,
Dang.
Trains, and
It's good
Automobiles.
stuff, yeah. Planes, Trains,
That's a good
Automobiles.
Thanksgiving movie.
It is. So go check out our video on Uncle Buck on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. This week, we will talk about my pick, which is Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. I know I'm excited for it, so make sure you subscribe on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. We'll be talking about that later in the week. Let's talk about what we've been watching in between, though. What we've been doing. We've got some books on the list this week, some TV, movies. I want to kick things off with a show that I'm really excited about. Have you guys seen Pluribus yet or heard of Pluribus on Apple?
I've heard of it, and I want to see it, but I haven't yet. So
You
I've
must.
listened to it, but I'm very intrigued by it. So
Garrett, you especially must, just because I know you have also watched Breaking Bad,
Better
and
Call
Better
Saul,
Saul,
Breaking Bad,
and
Rhea
Vince
Seehorn,
Gilligan.
love her. Yes.
Yes.
So
It is a completely different. It's not like about the drug world and crime, so it's totally different. But it's still got that Vince Gilligan intrigue to it, and Rhea Seehorn is amazing, and it's so weird. So the like one sentence premise that it says, like when you fire up the show, is that Carol is the only person who is immune to a disease that is making everyone else too happy. And they have to figure out what's
It's like
going on.
yeah. I listened to the Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast about this, and they
Sweet.
talked about it being very hive-mindy.
Yeah.
Some of the things that they were detailed without being spoilery. Sounds weird. It sounds like there's a lot of questions. How many episodes have you watched or are
3
out so far?
3 are
Cool.
out, and I watched all 3 this weekend. They were great.
Are they
Cool.
hours? Are they?
Yeah, they're
very-
about 45 minutes to an hour each episode.
Okay.
And it's just really weird and fun, and because there's so many, it opens up so many opportunities in a world like that they explore that you wouldn't expect. If you're the only one who's not in the hive mindy, how do you get what you need? You wouldn't think about that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun. And freaky.
I'm super intrigued. She was so good in Better Call Saul, especially in those last few seasons. She was like the standout star of that show, and what she brought to the table, and she was never recognized for it. And Better Call Saul never got what it deserved.
No.
So
no.
hopefully
Odenkirk
she'll
either.
get some recognition for this, and that people will. It's on Apple TV, so how many people actually watch Apple TV? I think we did an episode a while ago where they don't have a ton of subscribers. So I hope people see it or give it a
Yeah.
chance. I'm going to.
That's the good thing about it being on Apple too, though, is that they are seemingly, at least, are willing to give a chance to the shows that they believe in, or at least that they've hooked these big creators for. So I'm excited to see it unfold. And yeah, let me know when you watch it, because we got to talk about it. What about you, David? Are you intrigued by this at all?
Maybe. I have seen
Does
it's
it-
trending. I've seen people posting about it. Where'd you say it was? TV Plus?
It's on Apple.
Have you seen
Red Delicious
Breaking Bad
Plus.
or Better Call Saul at all, David?
No, never really watched any of those.
Okay.
You don't
I
have
was
to
just
have.
curious.
It just is.
No, it's not the same. If it's not the same thing, I'm just curious if you're familiar with Vince Gilligan's work at all.
No, not really. Unless he's done
Okay.
anything besides those, maybe I could. But no, I kind of missed the Breaking Bad train as it
He was a
happening.
part of the X-Files, I think, for a while,
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken.
He's written on several shows before. Yeah. I'm sure there's something you've seen of his, but it's yeah. If you end up picking up Apple TV anytime soon, I would put that on the list of things to check
Okay.
out. Garrett,
I'll
you've
think
got a
about
book on here, a couple books.
Yeah.
What you reading?
I've been
Books.
reading. Look,
That's great.
we live in
Me
a world.
too.
Yes, we live in a world where movies are inspired by books most of the time, so I'm always on the lookout for what could be the next possible movie made. And I think
That's a
that
smart idea.
I have that's what I'm saying. I have ideas. So if you need me, call me. But these are not my book. These are not. I have no rights to them. So like it's not going
Yet.
to do you any good. But here are my
Yet.
thoughts. The first one that I have is called Chain Gang All Stars by, and I'm possibly will not get this name right, and I apologize in advance. Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah.
Okay.
Mm.
It's a national or New York Times bestseller, a National Book Award finalist. It's basically think like Gladiators, but with prison reform. So people in prison have an opportunity to sign up for this fight to the death experience. And if you win so many fights in a row, you get your freedom. And the book is analyzing a lot of different like angles from this, but it's essentially looking at it from a perspective of these people are in there in prison for violent crimes and they don't like that. But then they put them in an arena with cameras and people are now cheering for these people to fight to the death. And it looks at the psychology of all of this and how it impacts the people that are involved. It was just a brilliant book and it was really good. So I really highly recommend that.
Wow.
I really think that there's an opportunity there for it's pretty heavy, pretty dense. So certainly a miniseries or something like that if people are really interested in it. But the main characters are two Black lesbian women, and they are prisoners who have been in there for however long, and they keep it's just become the Super Bowl level of fandom and excitement and sponsorships, and it is just a really interesting perspective and think piece on prison reform, privatizing prisons, and being and treating people in these prisons like they're less than people, while also idolizing them to be more in the same time.
I am definitely interested in reading that book. That sounds very interesting.
And like you said, definitely feels like a movie waiting to happen.
It does. No,
Isn't it crazy how dystopian style ideas felt like a really unimaginable thing years ago? Now they feel like, well, I can see that.
true? It wasn't nearly as dense as it sounds like this is, but I also got to go out and see The Running Man this past week, the new version of that, which came out, which has a premise of essentially a man who is desperate to save his daughter's life because he needs life-saving medicine that they are too broke to pay for, that he joins a show called The Running Man, where contestants essentially not fight to the death, but they have to survive to the death in order to win and win billions. And just to get by. And it's a dystopian world where literally game show contestant is an industry, like a job industry. They go out and get in huge audition lines like it's a job recruiter, a job fair, and then they assign them to shows. And The Running Man is like the big, most dangerous one because you got to survive 30 days to win, and no one's ever done it before.
What was your star rating, or have you given it?
I haven't
type
given
of
it
thought
my
yet?
star rating
Okay.
yet. I really had a good time with it, so I think I would at least go 3.5. I might go to 4.
Yeah.
if I thought about it some more.
That's definitely a book and movie I'm interested in, both because they seem to have like really interesting premise, very similar to what the book lays out there too. And the book is Stephen King. I'd be interested to see the Arnold Schwarzenegger version of the movie too. So I'm very interested in
Yes.
The Running Man.
And in this one, it's all for TV again. They basically make them characters for the show, and so they make them out all into villains, no matter what they are. So basically sounding just like the book you were talking about. They rile the audience up into wanting these people to die and be caught.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hunt down a good guy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is The Running Man and Chain Gang All Stars. Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Gonna check out
Yes.
that book. Where we at here? Okay. David, you caught up on a Disney movie that I really want to hear your thoughts on because they are, I think, a little different from. You seemed in your Letterboxd review to think that you were the odd man out in maybe disliking this
I think
movie.
so. I watched Freakier Friday.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
You didn't watch it in theaters, so you didn't get into the hype of it.
No, I was watching it
Understandable.
at home, and my wife really liked it. She enjoyed this movie when she saw it in theaters earlier this year, and I don't know. There was just something about it just didn't quite work. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Freaky Friday, the first one anyway. Like it was on when I was a kid. I don't know. I haven't actually thought about it critically. This one, just I don't know. It felt very millennial mom humor, and
I think I think you're right about that. Honestly, I
think
don't
that's
know
what
that
it is.
that's- I think it's what they wanted it to be. So it's
Yeah.
your
And
mileage may vary.
it will either work for you or it won't. And it just felt like everybody was just a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
And there was
Are
just a
you
lot of.
insinuating, David, that you are not a millennial mother?
I am a millennial dad.
Oh,
And
okay.
Which
thus-
I wonder what the movie for them are.
Varsity Blues 2.
The Running Man.
Two.
Well,
The Running.
Yeah.
I
don't
think
know.
about that.
I would be more than happy to learn that there's a movie that I like is not for, I don't know, moms my age or other women my age or whatever. But I wouldn't be shocked to find that out. But yeah, and then there was just a lot of shrieking at the beginning. It was just very noisy. I thought one of my favorite parts was Vanessa Bayer. She was really funny in her role. And I do think that the second half of the movie improves on the first half. Once they start putting their differences aside and start working together, things get better. It gets more funny. People are working together. It has an okay ending. So, I mean, the first half had me lost. The second half picked me back up a little bit. So I couldn't rate it too lowly. But what are you going to do? Not every movie's for me.
Sweet. Fair enough. Freakier Friday, streaming on Disney Plus. And then let's wrap up our what we've been doing this week section with your other book, Garrett, because it's Dean Koontz, and I enjoyed Dean Koontz last I've read, but it's been a while.
my headphones jacked up there for a second. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So this is actually a book, Velocity, that I read when I was younger. My grandma had it, and I was like, what is this? And so I took it, and it is a book that I, at the time, was so proud of, and it was so good. I read it in 3 nights because it was so good. It takes place in the early 90s, and a bartender leaves his shift, finds a note on his car, and it says, if you take this note to the police and get them involved, I will kill some kind of a person or some kind of a description of a person. If you don't take this note to the police, I will kill this person. So either way, somebody's going to die. You take it seriously, you don't take it seriously. He doesn't take it seriously. He thinks it's a joke. Somebody dies. And then he gets wrapped up into this crazy, he's being tormented by this person who's forcing him into these unwinnable games, if you will, where people are dying. And then, as you would expect, he is becoming a suspect throughout this whole thing while he's being toyed with and played with and having to deal with all of these different kinds of dead bodies and scenarios that you wouldn't be found in normal ways. We got the audiobook of it this time because I've been struggling to physically read, so I've been listening to podcasts more often. So I was like, let me get my audiobook situation started up a little bit. And that has been a lot of fun to hear this book and to really be as excited about it as I was. It holds up really well. It's a fun thrill ride. It's not as heavy as like Chain Gang All-Stars, but it's a fun read. So I do recommend this one. It's one that I have also thought would be a fun movie.
That does sound interesting. I've heard of it and tried recently. Immersive reading, they call it, where you listen to the audiobook at the same time you read it. And so you're like...
Yes. How is that working? Because I have thought about doing that for, the Odyssey before it comes out, because it's a heavy, dense read, man, and I don't think that I can just listen to it, and I certainly know I cannot read it.
I will say it's going to depend for you on your preference. I have to speed it up, the audio, quite a bit, because...
Yeah. You read faster than
because you obviously read faster than people speak, but I get distracted too easily when the audio is slower than my reading, so I have to crank it. But if I follow,
you're used to that though. Yeah,
it is nice. Yeah, I do keep podcasts little up to speed.
Yeah. I do want to say that people if you've read the news or anything, people aren't, especially white men, they're not reading.
Nobody's reading anymore.
Go get a library card. It's cheaper than Netflix.
It's free.
Read a book, even if it's a book about.
They got movies too. You don't have to read.
Yeah, just go read a book. That's it.
Just go pick up a book. Men aren't reading and men aren't writing. There's the amount of women in the author field has outpaced men in the author.
Do you be reading the news lately? I got a lot of questions about what men be doing.
Well, that's fair. Guys, just go pick up damn books. Get off of the crazy shit. Go read a book. God damn.
Go read a book and listen to and watch this show. I don't understand. There's all this hateful stuff on the internet, and this is right here for you.
Yeah. Golly. Anyway, moving on.
Just
to movie trailers.
Yep, let's move on to movie trailers. Got a couple big ones this week. I think we got to come out the gate hot with one that you said Freakier Friday was a Millennial Mom movie. Maybe Toy Story as the franchise is Millennial Dad, because every Millennial Dad has an opinion on Toy Story.
Millennial parent.
For some reason. Yeah. Well, it seems like a dad thing in particular, though.
We're so connected to Andy. We see ourselves in Andy.
But Toy Story 5 was announced a while back. We've discussed that already. But now we finally got the teaser. We're finding out that it seems the premise of this movie is going to be toys versus the tech, and whoever the kid is in this movie is receiving an iPad, a brand non-specific iPad.
Well, a lily pad.
The lily pad.
Mm-hmm. Her name's Lily.
Like a weird mix of a Leapfrog. You guys may remember Leapfrog when we were younger.
Oh yeah.
And then iPad full integration with the full tablet experience now.
But what are you thinking here, Garrett? You've had extremely strong Toy Story sequel opinions for at least the last decade.
Yeah, I know. And I'm not even a millennial dad.
No, just a millennial.
So I felt like the first three Toy Stories were perfect, obviously the first those three. When Toy Story 4 was announced, it was certainly questionable, and I did not really care for Toy Story 4. However, this idea, I'm okay with. It makes sense.
It's an interesting idea.
I think that in my brain, without having seen this movie, but seeing the trailer, if you put this in place of Toy Story 4, and then you put Toy Story 4 where Toy Story 5 was, that already makes it better. I think that this is a real thing. What do toys do whenever they are introduced to electronic digital iPads that have a lot more attention like that? And then you see Woody being like, I've been a toy for so long. Now what do? I invest in me. And he goes off with Bo Peep. See, that makes sense. So I'm super intrigued to see how they bring this story into the franchise. I think it's a logical evolution of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, David?
I'm unique in that I think Toy Story 4 is a much better film. Most people give it credit for it. I think it's a really well told story. I think it looks amazing. Like it's visually amazing. Key and Peele are in it, and they're hilarious.
Oh,
And I think a lot of people, they overlook it because they wanted it to end with 3. I also would have preferred it ended with 3. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, oh no, they needed a 4th one. They didn't. They didn't need a 4th one, but I enjoy the 4th one for what it is. Toy Story 5, conceptually, feels like 10 years too late, maybe. Just like the idea of this new technology coming in. I was trying to look up when tablets and when cell phones, we know when the iPhone debuted, but I guess maybe it's been enough time that people feel like they can make like a real judgment call on the benefits versus the cons of these devices in kids' hands. So maybe that's why we're getting it now. But I feel like you could have done this movie probably in 2017 and 2016.
See, you're right, but I think that what makes it a good for this time is that, yeah, that tech has been around in kids' hands for a good while now, but I really do think that the pandemic years has made it so much worse, and we're now seeing the effects of that now that a lot of those kids are older, and we're like, oh, maybe that much screen time was bad for these kids. So now, telling the story now, we almost can understand it better. And I don't know.
And
Only Pixar could we even discuss to this level because DreamWorks wouldn't even give a fuck.
You talked about, Garrett, you kind of mentioned that Andy feels like a surrogate for our childhood, for kids of the 90s, maybe even the late 80s, but kids of the 90s who had the toys and they grew up and they moved on, and we moved on with our parents. And we all were like going to college when Andy was going to college because it just timed out that way. But the characters of Woody, in my opinion, who's been the central figure for the first 4 films, feels to me very boomer/Gen X coded in the way he interacts with his world. And so it'll be interesting to see, because for the first 4 films, at least, it was boomers and older Gen Xers who were in charge of Pixar making those decisions. Now that's not quite the same, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that part. I'm overthinking it in that regard, but that's how I just view it.
I think that you make sense, actually. And I think that there's something to be said about the millennials taking that, because I think that what would make sense, and again, who knows what they're going to do, because I know that we're past Andy, but I do feel like it could be a fun story to have it be his daughter or something like that. And then they are giving his daughter an iPad or whatever, and whatever kid is an iPad. And
I assume
he
it's
sees
still
how much
Bonnie.
time I see how much time he spent on the screen would be like, oh man, I wish we could play together, because he's on her pad all of the time and there's no connection. So then he goes on a way to find his old toys and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Toys are great, blah, blah, blah.
If
Pixar
you
makes
guys
cry.
have Toy Story, if you guys have Disney Plus still, there is a Toy Story short. It's maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. That kind of addresses a little bit of this concept. I don't remember when it came out, but it's called The Toy Story That Time Forgot. And it is Bonnie goes to her cousin's house. Her cousin got loaded up for Christmas with these toys, these like dinosaur gladiator toys. But he's playing his new video games. Like, he's stuck in that, he's in that world. And so all these toys are unplayed with, and they very much in the sense of, like, in the style of Buzz Lightyear, they have no knowledge of what they're supposed to be. So Woody and them, they all get embroiled in that. But anyway, it ends up coming around with, once the game is shut off and the kids are allowed to see these toys again, have to use their imagination again, like it comes to, I think that there's potential here for a very real and very needed commentary on the need for kids to be able to use their imagination, that technology iPads, AI are going to lead kids to a place where they're not asked to use their imagination. They can just hit, give me this and get it. And they don't have to live in the world that Andy created for himself all those years ago. So
nah, it'll be interesting. The whole movie will be made with AI, so don't matter.
no.
It'll be
I don't
made
know,
by
'cause
by
GPT.
users on Sora 2
Now,
and uploaded
There
to
was
Disney
it is
Plus
interesting because AI
in 15 seconds.
forms of AI have been used in the past. There are programs. Anyway, that's a story for another time. Anyway,
They used to be hand drawn, and now it's all done by computer.
yeah, it's all done by
Everything's
computer.
computer. Everything's computer.
To tell it shortly, in Toy Story 4, they have these really delicate cobwebs, and they built a little AI like you would build for a video game, like a little AI spider. It told it to build cobwebs, and so then it built them so it looked all natural instead of a person going in and doing it hand by hand. So
Interesting.
that is
right.
fun. Well, I know what I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. That is Toy Story 5. It is set to come out June of next year. So we will see. We will see as we find out more. And then the other big trailer that came out recently is this Michael trailer, the Michael Jackson biopic. A lot of people are talking about, mainly because it stars Michael
Jafar.
Jackson's nephew, Jafar Jackson, as Michael himself. We watched the trailer right before recording here. What did you guys think? I think we're all like, nobody here is like a diehard Michael Jackson stan, so I think we all come from it at a neutralish level.
Used to be a huge. As a kid, I used.
Yeah.
But I think that yeah, I think it looks good. I'm
does.
interested to see how and what they focus on as far as the story. And it's also got connection to Bohemian Rhapsody, which is not necessarily the best intro. So I think that it's
I
got
don't remember
potential
who,
for
though.
things to overcome.
It might just be the same producers, and that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean anything.
That is fair,
Yeah.
but I do think it's got potential, but things that it has to overcome.
For sure.
Being directed by Antoine Fuqua, who is well known, very popular, obviously the director behind the Equalizer series. I think he did The Olympus Has Fallen. He did Training Day way back in the day. He's obviously good hands for a director. I don't know about the lead, Jafar. I mean, I'm not
Seems
excited.
a little bit nepotistic, but
I know. It is.
Look, Michael Jackson was a hit machine, and I love his music. I don't have high hopes for this. Even with an interesting director, it just feels like it's going to fall into the same traps that every biopic falls into. Of, hey, here's this moment, and here's how it became this moment. And, oh, here's how one time somebody told him to beat it. And he went, wait a minute.
Just say that
Say
again.
that again. And it's just going to be that. And so I'm not overly excited.
Wanna be starting something.
I feel bad because you want to be starting something like Mama say, Mama sa, Makasa. I feel bad because I let myself fall into this trap every time. I fell into this trap last year with The Complete Unknown, which had its moments, but was exactly what I feared it would be. Like, it's just
Even
going to
if
be
it's
that. I don't know.
Jason,
Until
you don't
somebody takes a chance, some of these biopics are just going to be that way. And even biopics that take a chance, they get scolded for doing so. So it feels...
Did you see Rocket Man?
Rocket Man is really good. Rocket Man took a
Yeah.
chance. A Better
It
Man took a
succeeded.
chance. The Lego Pharrell movie took a chance.
Robbie Williams, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah,
Better
the
Man?
Better
I
Man,
saw
yeah,
people on the
yeah.
internet say that Springsteen movie would have been better if he was a monkey.
Yeah. They're just taking any kind of real chance with it. But anyhow, so I'm not super excited, but we'll see when it comes out.
Yeah. All right. I think we're about at the end of this one, so why don't you hit us with the box office update of the week? What's been out this weekend, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, here's a quick look at the domestic numbers. Now you see me know it, now you don't. Opens number one with 21.3 million. Actually, and then an additional, I think worldwide, 75 million worldwide. a really solid weekend worldwide for that movie. The Running Man opens just a little bit above, I have it wrong here in the notes, but a little bit above early estimates at 17 million, which is weird because I would have thought they've been advertising that Running Man movie for like a year, it feels. So I'm surprised that only 17 million. But it's a tough weekend. Predator Badlands comes in at number 3 with 13 million in its second week. Regretting You at 5 million. And Black Phone 2 still in the top 5 with 2.6. Movies opening wide next week. Rental Family, starring Brendan Fraser. Sisu 2, and there's no 2 in it, but Sisu 2 Road to Revenge.
Cease 2.
And then probably one of the bigger, more anticipated movies of the year for some of the people out there, Wicked for Good comes out next weekend. And that's your box office rundown.
Love it. All right. That will do it for us on this episode. We'll be back later in the week with our review of Homeward Bound, so be sure to subscribe to So Many Sequels on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts for that. You can find us online at SoManySequels.com and get all those links there, including our social media, our Discord, all the good stuff to find us. All right. We'll be back next time. Bye.